are you? Good morning. Good morning. It's Kirsten. Come on in. Welcome to the show. How are you doing? Oh, I got to fix this on TikTok. Hold on. Otherwise, I can't read that. There we go. Good to see you guys. Come on in. It is Wednesday. I think it's February 12th. How are you guys doing? It's good to see you. So close. All right. So today, you guys, if you've been tracking with my content, you know that most everything that I do comes from a conversation that I'm having with y'all. So I always encourage that, like, keep messaging me, keep telling me your stories, keep telling me the things, and I'll just be the curator of, some of these pieces so that we can put stuff together. I feel like I have a little dot on my glasses, excuse me. So we can put together pieces of our own puzzle with the whole insulin resistance conversation, right? So every day, Monday through Friday, I go live here at 11 a.m. and we talk about insulin resistance. And it's not just because, we just decided one day this was an interesting topic. This has actually been a lifelong journey for me. I always know that I have new eyeballs on my content, especially on TikTok. So come on in from the balcony if you want to join in. If you feel like you need to be resourced, you feel like you need to be encouraged, you feel like you need hope to actually be able to freaking lose weight, then this is a really good place just to land for a minute and take in some good nuggets, and then you can actually execute and get results like maybe you have not been able to for quite some time. Because maybe the program that you're on of counting points. Hey, Terry, good to see you. One of my favorite testimonies just popped on. Because maybe you've been told that counting points is going to fix you. But see, when you're insulin resistant, the game has changed. The game has changed, and we have to figure this out, right? So super streamlined process is what I teach, and I talk about it all the time. Every day we come on and we talk about insulin resistance. Today, I want to talk about a conversation that I had with a customer who basically said that she went to the doctor and he kind of laughed at her a little bit. So I would like to know, do you ever feel like you are not being heard in the world of, let's say, the matrix? Let's just call it the matrix. Do you ever feel like you go and you're just not being heard? I would love to know. And, not everybody wants to put their story below. I'm good with that. I get it. Sometimes you just want to message me. I'm really good with that too. And the reason why is because there's a collective, there's something collective that needs to happen for us to really be able to move forward. She actually used the word belittled. She felt very belittled. And I think that happens a lot. And it's kind of a little bit like gaslighting. Just going to say that. I know that's a strong word, and I don't like it getting thrown around. I really don't. But it makes you think like you're the crazy person as you experience your symptoms and your frustrations, as you question. You're not supposed to question. Right? Very frustrating. Good morning, Magda. Good to see you. We've just got all different areas of the country being represented. So anyway, if insulin resistance is something that you need to have more information on, more help with, then hit the follow button, hit the like button, share out the information, grab a friend that you're like, doggone it, I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to figure this out. And just remember, when your insulin is high in your body, you can't burn fat. So if that's literally all you heard me say today and then you left, that will serve you very well. If you have high insulin in your body, you can't burn fat. But then I'll take it another step further. If your liver is tired, which it usually is from insulin resistance, you also can't burn fat very well because it's your fat metabolizing organ. So this is why we change the lens as to how we're looking through it, and then we can get the results. Like Terry lost 40 pounds in 8 months last year doing this protocol. This protocol of she became grain-free, she became sugar-free, she jumped on the targeted supplementation bandwagon, and in 8 months, and she's 62. So you're not too late, you're not too old. But this is kind of what drives me, this conversation today. So basically talking to somebody about how she had gone to her doctor, and the doctor, this is how she said it. I just have some notes on it so I can make sure that I'm saying things properly. But she asked her doctor for a CAC, which is a coronary artery calcium test. Now that's a whole nother conversation. That's a really good way to find out about your arteries. as opposed to just listening to all of the misinformation that is out there about cholesterol and eating red meat. You actually just need a CAC test and a fasting insulin test. The doctor did not see the connection. Now, this I don't think was a specialist, so I don't want to try to misrepresent anything. And I'm not against doctors. I'm not against providers. That would be ridiculous. I'm not one myself. Like, I'm just saying, like, sometimes we get tired. It was more in the female realm where we felt like we were not being heard, where we felt like we needed, like, could somebody please step in and advocate for us being a hot mess express? You know what I'm saying? Like, well, that's just the way it is. You're just, whatever, you're in your 40s. This is, there's nothing you can do, whatever. That kind of a conversation when we kind of intrinsically know, and intrinsically, that's the wrong word, but where we kind of like inside, we know intuitively, we know that we can actually get back to the place of that 13, 14, 16-year-old that knew when her period was coming, knew when her body was changing, knew why she was bloated, tracking, and we were really assessing our bodies. We instinctively know, hold on a second, something's not right. Well, it's the same thing. Just transfer that thought process to this conversation of insulin resistance. And I hear it from you guys over and over and over again. I'm not being heard. They're belittling me. The doctor laughed at me when I said that insulin resistance could be reversed. Well, let's find out what some other doctors are saying, because it's not just about our opinion, right? We just don't want to base anything just on, well, I just feel a certain way. No, we actually want like third-party resourcing on this, right? Okay, so this is what we're going to do. So she said that the doctor dismissed her fasting insulin test as not necessary. And I am here to tell you, that's one of the tests you should probably ask for. If they would do a fasting insulin test, if you have early markers in your journey, early, long before your sugars rise, what if you could find out about your triglycerides? That's an early flag, high triglycerides. What if you could find out through a fasting insulin test that you had high insulin? Because it's your high insulin is silent until it creates belly fat. You're like, what's going on? Why do I have all this belly fat? High insulin, most likely. Okay. But why do they not do that? Why do they not try to intercept this much, much earlier? Why do we have this struggle? Why does she go to a doctor and he kind of belittles her? Like, this is really frustrating for us, right? So I'm going to give you some practical things that you can be asking for, etc. And some of you might end up needing to get a different provider. I don't know. This is just me and the way I think. You don't have to listen to me. This is just how I would deal with it, okay? So the reason why this is actually even a problem is because many traditional doctors do not look at insulin resistance early enough. They're just not. They focus on your A1C and your glucose, and they're missing the root cause. So by the time it shows up in your sugars, do you understand you could have been insulin resistant for years or decades? I was. I mean, do you understand? Like, this is how this goes. So they dismiss fasting insulin, which is one of the earliest warning signs. Super frustrating. So experts such as Dr. Ken Berry, like a strawberry, Dr. Kiltz, K-I-L-Z, I don't think it's T-Z. I think it's just K-I-L-Z. Dr. Eric Berg and others agree insulin resistance is reversible. This is not my opinion. Remember, I had somebody in my DMs last week who was like fussing and saying, well, but I'm not a doctor. And I say, I'm quite aware. And I say that literally, I think every single live I do. I'm not trying to be one. I didn't want to go to medical school. I didn't even want to be talking about this online. But listen, my dad died at 63. And my kids, who are now grown adults, 36, 33, and 30, completely missed out on their Italian grandpa. They were 6, 3, and 6 months old. Like, this is stupid. Why are we still listening to the exact same advice that has never freaking changed? And the incidence of obesity, type 2, and meds just go up and up and up, and we change nothing. Why? Why can't we ask that question? It's really, really challenging. So They dismiss fasting insulin, which is one of the earliest warning signs. And Dr. Ken Berry, Dr. Kiltz, Dr. Eric Berg, these are just some, and there are so many more. Dr. Ben Bickman, there's so many more out there that will tell you that insulin resistance is reversible. So if you have a doctor that laughs at you, maybe you need to have another doctor. I'm just saying, mainstream medicine often treats type 2 as though it's lifelong. So if you get diagnosed and you think it's just forever, like my dad did, there's no way on God's green earth my dad was ever going to think that his diabetes was reversible. For a half a minute at the end, when he was on dialysis, he listened to some information and he actually implemented it. And what you have to understand is that when you start to turn back your insulin resistance, you turn back the symptoms. One of the symptoms is high BP. So he was listening to this information. He implemented it. It was about his diet, etc. And he then stopped taking his BP med. And he's on dialysis, so he's going like 2-3 days a week. At the end, it was 3. I don't know if he like ramped up to that. I don't remember. But so he's going, and so he's regularly getting it checked. He's regularly getting everything. All of his numbers are regularly being monitored. Okay, so he has a conversation with like a nurse that's doing his dialysis, and he's sitting there and he's having it done. He's like sitting in his chair, right? Probably at the hospital. I don't think they had centers on every corner. Why do we have dialysis centers on every corner in America? That's super interesting, isn't it? Like there's one conveniently located for you. Anyway, he was going to the hospital. This was 29 years ago. And he said to them, so what would you say if I told you that I stopped taking can I stop taking my blood pressure med? What would you say if I said I wanted to stop taking my BP med? Oh, Mr. Fergali, you can't do that. That would be terrible, horrible. And of course, now she's a nurse. She's not the one providing the meds, so she has to be careful too. But no, you can't do that. And he said, well, what would you say if I told you I haven't taken it for 2 weeks? Oh, that's terrible. That's awful. You can't do that. You've got to get back on it. Get back on your scripts. Get back on. And he said, but what are my numbers? Well, they're actually really good, but you can't just decide that. Now, probably true, right? But are you serious? Like, so he at the very end, you guys, we're 30 years later. It'll be 30 years this summer that my dad is gone. We're 30 years later. We're 3 decades later. You and I can decide to advocate for ourselves and do this differently. You and I can decide that whatever information they were giving us, that they're still giving us, that's exactly the same 30 years later, longer than that, but 30 years from my world, that it's just not working. We can decide that. Like, this is ridiculous. Okay? So all I'm saying is that you can ask for different tests, and you do not have to believe that this is a lifelong sentence that cannot be fixed. It's not true. These are the things we have found out in the last 30 years. Let's update our information. Okay, shall we? Let's go. All right, so you can ask for a fasting insulin. It shows early insulin resistance. Insulin is a hormone, and insulin is the truck, the delivery truck, the semi that goes and picks up your glucose from eating food, and it needs to drive it to its storage unit. Think about a storage unit on the side of the highway where they've got door. All of those doors are your cells. It's going to drive the glucose into the cell so that you can have energy, so that you can be like, oh, I feel good. I feel energized. I feel fueled. But when you are resistant, if you have crossed over into insulin resistant land, number one, don't freak out. It's okay. Like, now that you know and you can identify, don't freak out. You can go back. You can go back out the door that you came from. It's going to take a few steps, but you can go back. This is all my own opinion, right? This is for entertainment purposes only. But you can go back. So that door is closed. So that storage unit, door. All those locks, lock, they all changed. So the insulin, which is the truck, and it has a key to go open your cell, it can't do it. It can't do it. So your cell goes, yeah, no, we're done. Like I'm a little stuffed like a sausage here with insulin. I'm feeling a little toxic today. So we're done. So this is why you're tired. And because it's a fat storing hormone, this is why you're getting fatter. And I say that you may not be. There are some people who are thin and they are insulin resistant. I just spoke with one the other day. It's not always, it's just a higher percentage. So I speak to you who is like, what's going on? Or you might be skinny, but you've got this belly fat. You're like, what the heck? Everywhere else on me is still thin. Everywhere else on me, but my belly, it's insulin resistance. It's high insulin. It's probably mixed in with a little high cortisol. That does it too. But insulin is a hormone. And so what happens then is it's tipping over all your other hormones. So now you have belly fat. Oopsie. You're a hot mess express because maybe your other hormones are upside down too. Take off the top here. And you don't understand why you can't lose belly fat. And this is all happening way before it shows up in your sugars. So ask for a fasting insulin test. Another one is it's a CAC score, coronary artery health. So you don't have to gauge everything on how many eggs you're eating every day or how much red meat you're eating in a week, because that's all a joke. Like they're just telling you stuff that is getting you to be afraid of the actual real food so they can sell you the processed food that are grain crops, because grain crops are prolific and they are very profitable, okay? But they're really messing with your insulin resistance. I'm just telling you, once you cross over, if you really want to work towards insulin sensitivity, it's not going to happen overnight. Like your cells have to really you need to have cellular regeneration. You need to have cellular healing, but it is possible. I have a customer who she started on the Trio last July. Okay, last July. So what are we? August, September, October, November, December, January, February. So 7 months ago, but yeah, actually it happened in January. So 6 months, within 6 months, by reining in her food and taking the Trio, because again, this is a cellular conversation. This is not a eat more fiber conversation. This is a cellular conversation. So this is how I avoided type 2, okay? This is started a little over 10 years ago. 6 months, they put not diabetic in her chart. Why in the world are we believing that it's not reversible if that's what her doctor just did? I'm in Minnesota. She's in Minnesota. I know who she is. She's a real person. I'm just telling you, I want to pause. Why would one person's doctor say, it's not reversible, silly goose? And another doctor go, and I feel like this is very close to what he actually said. He goes, you're amazing. Like whatever you're doing, I'm putting not diabetic in your chart today. So where's the hitch? What are we doing? It's a really good question. I just want people to pause and think. Critically think for yourself. Stop listening to the marketing and the bad information that comes out of the matrix. Good morning, Lisa. Thank you very much. You're good. No worries. You are good. So a CAC score, then a HOMA-IR, which measures your insulin resistance, HOMA-IR. And then you can get a liver enzyme. Fatty liver is linked to insulin resistance. And I will tell you that the whole liver enzyme conversation, when I talk about the Trio, and some of you are on it and some of you don't know what I'm talking about, you can always message me. Just get in my DMs and go Trio, Trio. I will know exactly what you're talking about. This little liver one, I had somebody talk to me. Thank you for the hearts, Carol. Thank you for liking. Oh, you're good. Oh my goodness. You're doing the Lord's work though, Carol. Thank you. She reached out to me and she said, my liver enzymes came back high. Do you have something in your line? I'm like, yes, I do. And taking it twice a day in 45 days, she cut her numbers in half. So I just want you to know that I have testimonies for every single piece. I have testimonies for the whole. I have testimonies coming out of my ears. I have oodles of poodles of testimonies. I have like I've just been this collector of your guys' stories, your guys' labs, your guys' weight loss. Like I'm just the collector. So liver enzyme test. So fasting insulin, CAC score, HOMA-IR, liver enzyme. Okay. And remember, when you turn things around, and I only teach 2 things, I don't want you to think you have to learn 25 things in order to do this. I don't want you to think that, oh my gosh, you need to go through my course and it's about 4 months long and you have to like study and take notes and quizzes, and it's not what we're doing here. I'm like, okay, so I'm a super, 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 super simple person. And there was no way I was going to give 2 hoots about figuring out my insulin resistance. I mean, I was barely going to pay any attention because I'm Italian. I was like, I'll take some supplements, but I'm not going to change out my foods. And then eventually I did. But that's not the point. I needed things to be super simple. So how simple is this? Well, you can start with your targeted supplementation. Start with the trio. Maybe you want to do a gut reset. Maybe you want to target your visceral belly and hip fat. I can help you, okay? All you do is reach out to me and say, so this is what I got going on. Customize a cart for me, okay? But when you turn this around, I've had people get off of, and between them and their doctor, not between me and them, because I am not their medical coach, right? They have a medical coach. They've gotten off of BP meds. This is literally in the last, since June. Since June, these are the ones that I am remembering right now. HBP, gone. Anti-anxiety, gone. STATIN, gone. Fibromyalgia med, gone. Another one for that was HBP because that was from her cardiologist. This was recent. What else? I feel like there's more, but those for sure I remember since June. Do you understand? Turn it back. Turn back the symptoms. Turn it back. Turn back the belly fat. Turn it back. Turn back the sleepless nights. Turn it back. Turn back the exhaustion. Turn it back. Get off of scripts, because it's all freaking connected. So it is, in my opinion, criminal that you would go to a provider and they would not have any idea about the connection. And in fact, this is kind of what she said. Hold on, I want to see this. And I know I'm not seeing your comments yet here. That's because I'm using my computer. So Facebook, I'm sorry. But she said, I asked him specifically if I could have a fasting insulin test, and he said it's not necessary. And hold on. Did not understand the correlation. This is her doctor, you guys. He did not understand he or she, no, she said he, did not understand the correlation between insulin resistance, your liver, anybody thinking this is wrong, and your pancreas. It wasn't even in his wheelhouse. What is going on? And then this is where the gaslighting comes in, okay? I just want you guys to know it. And I don't say that term lightly. If you knew my past, you would know that I would not use that term lightly. He goes, well, it's a good thing you're researching, but you can get really confused with all that information out there. And then she goes on and she says this. She said, I thought he would be pleased that I'm off of my 10 of 12 meds and I've lost 50 pounds in a year since I've seen him last. And I'm using little or nothing when it comes to insulin long acting and quick acting. But no, I was just belittled. You guys, come on. That's just dumb. It's mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling. Okay, hold on. I want to see what questions or comments we have. You guys, you're so awesome. All right, I'm looking at my comments now. So Cheryl, Claudette, Suzette, you guys, happy hump day. Yes. So Meg just saying that doctors often feel, let me see here, as if we're challenging their knowledge. They feel that the patient doesn't know anything. So how then can you disagree with them? That's their hang up, not ours. So I personally keep bugging them until they give me my script for the necessary blood work, which I'm requesting. So she's not looking for a script for a med, she's looking for a script for the blood work. And she just keeps pressing. And I'm telling you, I feel like this is a big piece of our puzzle. Thank you for saying that, Magda, because the truth is that Tamiko, I will absolutely send you information on the trio when I get off, okay? New here, welcome to the show. Jacqueline, I will send you information on the trio. Do I see, or do you see a naturopathic doctor? You know, well, for me right now, I do not see a naturopathic doctor. I would just go to a regular GP and get tests ordered. You can actually go, there are those requestatest.com. You can get tests from there, etc. I worked with a naturopath years ago, and she kind of set me on this journey because she told me things like, Kirsten, the way you go through menopause is the way you're going to take care of your adrenals. And I'm like, oh, filed. I don't know what an adrenal is, but I'm going to figure that out. I mean, I literally did not even know what an adrenal was. Well, now I understand why adaptogenic herbs I still take them to this day. I still take the exact, when I talk to you guys about, and I don't do it often on here, when I talk to you about the purple packet, this is where I started for my brain fog. And then they helped, I don't want to get into that conversation. It's a long one. Properly dosing one of the herbs in here, because it's not just taking one packet a day and you're good to go, but properly dosing one of the herbs in here, I never had a hot flash because they balanced up my hormones. The only reason I bring that up is because working with a naturopath changed the way that I was thinking about how to take care of my body. And so I did not go head first into the matrix, but I was already not wanting to do that because my dad had that lazy Susan full of meds, just filled with all of his stuff when he died, and he was 63. And that triggered me. I've told that story before, the day after he died, when I saw all those meds, and I kind of wondered why is he dead then? Like, I don't get it. Isn't medicine amazing and healing? And no, it's not. It's only meant to manage, and at best it doesn't even do that. So, I mean, I'm not putting down all meds. I'm talking about a very specific small circle conversation about insulin resistance and my dad's type 2 and how those meds took his function went like this. I did the opposite. You know how that is? Like you grow up and you're like, when I get older and I have kids, I'm gonna raise them this way. When I get older and I have kids, we're gonna do this. We're not gonna do that or whatever. I did that in my heart over how I was gonna take care of my body, because I looked all around me in my Italian family and all I could see was obesity and type 2 diabetes everywhere, riddled in my family. People limping and not feeling good. My dad having sores on his legs. His calendar was filled with doctor appointments. His prognosis of where he was going, my mom saw the writing on the wall. She went, oh, this is not going to go well. She could see it. So my mother, who raised us, she was a stay-at-home mom. She got a job. She started making crafts in the basement. I live in Minnesota. So she would make crafts all winter long in our basement, and then she would go sell them at the fairs, the art fairs in the summertime to make money. When that wasn't enough, and she knew that we needed to have health insurance, that was different because my dad was a business owner. So you can imagine how expensive it is to buy your own health insurance back then, like really hard. So she was like, I need to go get a job that will provide me benefits. So she's like 50 years old. She goes and gets a full-time job for the University of Minnesota so that she can have benefits, because my dad's health, by the time he was 63, he was dead. She was 65. She had just retired. And she was like, she saw it happening. So here you go there, Mr. Fergali. Here's a lazy Susan full of medication. Don't stop taking it now. And he literally went like this. And I'm like, I'm not interested in what he did to get those results. I'm interested in a different result. So I then was like, okay, in my super naive, non-supplementing, sugar addicted way, I was like, okay, I'll try some supplements, see what happens. Well, it set me on a course that with the, like right around in my head, all of that information from the naturopath kind of like set me on this course. And he went like this in his 50s. I went like this in my 50s. I just turned 60 like 2 weeks ago. No type 2 in sight. No meds at all. I've lost 3 sizes. I feel amazing. And the things that I want to be able to do with my day, like today's a Wednesday. If I wanted to be around my grandsons, I could go do that. I could get down on the floor with them. I could keep up with them. I mean, do you understand? Like, I needed to have a different result. So I know that kind of took me, in a direction, Lisa, but I want people to understand, like, you can have a different thought process and take somebody else's advice like that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. Oh, Maria, thank you so much. I appreciate you very, very much. Let's say you're on a budget and you could only do one thing. That's a good question, Lisa. Would you say to do the purple packet over the trio? Just a thought, curious. Kristen, you know my situation. I just still go back, Lisa, for you. I think that you need to probably work on your gut. So what happens with your gut is, and you can message me in behind the scenes too, if I'm missing a memory of things that you're going through. Your gut is literally everything. It's everything. It is your, if you have a messed up gut, if you have a leaky gut and you're leaking nutrients, you are creating disease because your body is not absorbing nutrients. If you have a gut that's messed up, it could be the very base of any depression and anxiety that you're having. It does not help you if you have a leaky gut. You're not absorbing meds or supplements. You're not absorbing food that you're eating well. So sometimes we have to slow down to speed up. So some of you who have heard me talk about the trio, and yes, of course, that is like my go-to conversation. But if you feel like you have a gut that needs some recalibration, maybe you have to slow down to speed up. Okay. And that's when then I talk about the gut reset protocol. And that is that's the primer with a probiotic. Okay. And you have one of 2 probiotics to choose from. One is the powder 5 strain and one is the stress. So if you already know you have high cortisol, you know that you have like your adrenals are a little shot. Listen, your adrenals are your backup to your ovaries. If you are a hot mess express, you don't want your adrenals to be shot, right? So this is why I feel like sometimes the benefit of being able to just reach out to me and talk to me, it can be helpful. I've been, like Lisa and I have been chatting back and forth now for quite a while, right? And it's kind of like tweak, because sometimes y'all have different things than I did, right? And you have to try to figure that out. Well, getting connected to somebody can help you just talk through that. Gay, hi, nice to meet you. I will give you information on the trio. Sandy, good morning. The powder one tastes like cookies. Cheryl, you are right. You are right. So there's this little powder one that you put right on your tongue. It's the 5 strains, and it tastes like the bottom of a cereal bag. I'm just gonna tell you in a good way. That sounds weird, but I am telling you what. The primer itself, you know what? Guess what? I wish it didn't taste like tea. I wish it didn't. I'm not a tea drinker. So it doesn't excite me. I'm not like, I love me some tea. So that doesn't excite me, but the results excite me. the testimonies. It's not just you guys, it's me too. It's like the lack of constipation. People are sleeping for the first time because you're moving that toxic waste out of your body and your body is functioning. Your gut is your hormone connection. It is your feel-good neurotransmitters, your serotonin, your dopamine. It's all of that. And if any of those pieces are messed up, this is why we don't feel so good. It's why we feel like trash. It's why we don't sleep. It's why we have indigestion and acid reflux. It's why we're constipated. So if like the Super Bowl sent you over the edge, just saying, being constipated can actually be kind of scary in your head. It's icky. It's icky. You're like, oh, right? Nobody likes that. Good morning, Patty. Good to see you. Good to see you. Okay, so let's see, where are we? Okay, very, very good. Yeah, Lisa. And again, always reach out to me, Lisa, because I don't want to just give, let's see if I missed anything. I don't think so. I think I'm good. You could use some help with this. Yep. And you know what? On TikTok, it is a little tiny different, not completely. But for instance, oh, thank you for sending me a heart, Kristen. On TikTok, it's a little different just because I can't send clickable links. Okay. So if you send me a message on TikTok, I'm going to ask you the question, where do you want to connect? Do you need a phone call? Do you want to message me on IG? Do you want to go email? What do you want to do? Because then I can sit down. I will literally customize a cart. If somebody's like, okay, I really kind of am thinking like maybe the trio and the gut reset protocol. I'm thinking that if I can get my gut going and then I can also be working on my sugars, my insulin, and my liver all at the same time, like that might be something for me. I will create a cart for you and I will send it over and you can look at it and we can discuss it. Okay. Because also I know that sometimes people are already, some of you have supplement cupboards that look like your makeup drawers. And you're like, I already take, whatever, this ingredient. Well, let's customize. No problem, right? Let's figure it out. I don't want you to get deeper into the mess inside of your cupboard. I want you to streamline what's inside of your cupboard. Like, let's get rid of all the fluff. Let's target what you need help with. Save you money in the process because maybe you don't need to be focusing on this right now. Maybe you just need to focus over here for a minute. And then the last thing I would say on that is that it is literally, thank you for the follow. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It is really it's a full line. It's a full line of supplements. And so we can address a lot of different things. Kristen, thank you. You're so amazing. Thank you so much. You guys are awesome. So if, especially on TikTok, you need to stay connected to me, follow my content, share my content. If you feel like there's somebody that needs to hear and have encouragement, that there's hope out there. Listen, do not take my word for it. Don't do that. When I get off of here and I send you guys information on the trio, you're going to get information that is like a little 2-minute video from me. So if I have a 2-minute video that could explain it more succinctly than I'm doing right now, would you watch it? Okay. Or if it's trio and gut reset or whatever, I have a few different little 2-3-minute videos that I can send. You're also going to see the cart with all the products and all the pricing, and all that yumminess and whatever, so that everything is just right there for you. But then you're going to see a button of testimonies. You guys, you have to read the testimonies. I mean, you don't have to, but it's just really helpful because if you can understand that somebody just had their chart say not diabetic in 6 months, now maybe their A1C was lower than yours. You know what I mean? That's possible. What if it takes you longer? But what if you're still getting to the same destination anyway? And I'm just Italian. I'm just an Italian girl. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a naturopath. I just found a path, a blueprint. And now I've been talking about this blueprint for a really long time, years, to help women get the results that they're getting. We want to lose weight before summer. We want our sugars to come down. Maybe we recently had, a conversation with our doctor like she did that we've been talking about today, and you feel belittled. Maybe you feel like you weren't heard. Maybe you were a little like taken aback by how they didn't know the connections. Like, what? I thought this was general information. Like, how are you a doctor and you don't, like, this is ridiculous, right? You can always find another provider too. Don't, hold on just a second. I'm going to read something that Meg is saying. She says, if the gut primer doesn't taste good to you, just use as little water as possible. This is what I do. She says, hold your breath as you swallow. You won't pass out, I promise. That's what I told my daughter to do. That's hysterical. But your daughter, so this is the deal. So what I do is I take cold water out of my fridge, and it just tastes like tea. It's just turmeric and gingery and tea. But point being, that I just use a little bit of water. I zhuzh it up with my frother. I've got my frother right here every day, every morning. It's what I do. And then I just take it down like a shot, and it's perfect. People are taking ginger shots all the time. But her daughter, oh, Magda, let me see if I can. Nope. That was somebody else's daughter. But I do have somebody with short gut syndrome who she was very concerned about taking it because of the possible effects or whatever. She was shocked within 3 weeks, no bloating. I'm trying to remember if she's lost 11 pounds, like really, like her body started functioning again. That's the difference between having a primer and a greens product. Everybody can grab a greens product. Just scroll through TikTok. You're going to see somebody talking about something. Every single person on the planet, exaggerated, is an affiliate for a greens product. You can get it on Amazon. You can get it on the TikTok shop. This is not that. Okay, this is not that. This is 6 blends that are very specific for helping with nutritional absorption, constipation, liver health, oral health, metabolism support. Like this is different. I just want you to know that because yes, you need that, Patty. I know it really is. Like I love the testimonies so much. Anyway, I could just go on and on. Last night I was at a business meeting here locally, and Megda, I told your story. I was standing there with a friend of mine, and I hadn't seen her in a little bit. And I'm like, so tell me, how's your world going and blah, blah, blah. And we were talking, all of a sudden here we're talking about the orange pixie stick. We're talking about the thermogenic powder, which is the orange pixie stick. I've got it here somewhere. I think here it is. The orange pixie stick. We're talking about this, okay? This is a clinical dose of an extract that literally targets your belly and your hips, okay? All right. So we're standing there and we're chatting, and she's like, yeah, I really like it. She goes, but I haven't been as consistent as I need to be, and I don't know why, and blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, listen, I have a really good testimony for you because I live on and I love these testimonies because it tells me, it's giving me feedback. Your testimony gives me feedback as to how many people I'm able to help. That's what it does. It gives me a gauge. So every time you guys give me a testimony, you take the time to type me out. Hey, I just lost this much weight, or my test came back. This is what happened, my labs, whatever. It gives me the gauge of every day when I get up and I go live with you guys, how much am I helping people? Okay. So I said to her, listen, I got the best testimony for you. I said, I have a customer. She's on Facebook. And I said, she took it every day for 90 days. It tastes like orange candy. You put it on your tongue, just like this. It's your treat. It does not spike your sugars. I said, she took it for 90 days. She lost 3.5 inches from under her bra line. She lost 2 inches off her waist and 1 inch off her hips. And then because it's a thermogenic, like think about that heat up, okay? And it's targeting that fat underneath, the visceral fat that's not healthy for you. It's dangerous. So you're kind of shrinking from the inside out. That's what's happening. And you take a 30-day break and then do another round. And she's like, that's awesome. That's genius. I said, yep, because we heard, didn't we, Magda, that your body can get used to a thermogenic. So you want to go 90 days, boom, 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 boom. What if you started right now? 90 days would be, March, April, May. So you would be halfway through May, halfway into May, right? Right when summer's going to start. 90 days, and then take a month off, and then do another round, and then take a month off, and then do another round. And you can take rounds like that, and getting your body to not get used to the thermogenic and just keep on getting results. So I'm like on a second round right now. It's amazing. I'm just telling you, it's so amazing. But anyway, if you guys need anything, let me know. You had to take a call. So if I addressed your comment, I wasn't here. I'm back. Okay, hold on. I got to see about this. I shouldn't have worn white. Do you understand this problem? I wore my cream sweater and their comments are in white. This is not smart. What about someone with no gallbladder? Can it cause issues? Yeah, it can make it challenging, but it's not as bad as you think it is. So your gallbladder is just a holding station, right, for your bile. So you still need to be creating bile. So really then the focus is on your liver. Liver. Love your liver. Love your liver. That's what I say all the time. I even had a girlfriend make me a t-shirt that says love your liver, because this is the conversation then when you don't have a gallbladder and you think to yourself, I'm just not processing fats very well. I'm just not digesting very well. I'm just not whatever. Fill in the blank, because I know what the fallout can be, right? How about you work on, this is literally, it says, I don't know if it says it on here or if it says it on the website. Yep. Okay, right here. So this is a daily GI primer, plant-rich 6-in-1 drink supplement infused with gut-supporting blends that together provide comprehensive support. Okay, are you guys listening? Comprehensive support for your digestive health while supporting normal immune function, liver function, metabolism, and energy production. So again, not having a gallbladder, yes, we can live without a gallbladder. There's some fallout that's frustrating, but you can absolutely still level up the health of your liver, your pancreas, and everything else that's going on around there. Without question, in my opinion, I am not a doctor. Absolutely. Don't ever give up on that. You do not have to live with frustrating bathroom habits forever. You don't. So 3 months, then off 1 month, and then start at 3 months again, right? That is right, Patty. That is right. That is exactly right. And that's what I'm doing. And then that's what Meg does. And she just got really good. Thank you for the follow. Cindy, thank you for the follow. Are you taking the primer? That's fantastic. What about someone? Okay, yep. Oh, Kristen, you're amazing. Thank you for telling me you love the live. Thank you. I appreciate you. All right. And so anybody that does need help, like, don't hesitate to reach out. Don't do that. You can be in a different place in 90 days. Is it complete and full and perfect? Probably not, because going towards insulin sensitivity, everything that I give you is just launching you. It's pushing you towards it, and then in the group Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women, I can teach the grain-free, sugar-free life. I can teach you how to still be a foodie and love your food and cut off what's getting you into that pickle over and over again, because you can't eat trash and out supplement it. It doesn't work that way. Insulin resistance is a very specific conversation of spiking your sugars, calling on too much insulin, and then it's storing it as fat, and you're getting more and more frustrated every day because you're like, why? I thought it was all about balance. I thought it was all about counting points. I thought that 1,200 calorie a day prepackaged processed food program was going to work for me. Not if you're insulin resistant. Terry says, I'm finishing up my 30-day break from the Pixie Stick. You can't wait to get started again. That's fantastic. What were your results, Terry? I know that at one point, I feel like you lost an inch off of a few areas of your body during that, but I don't know if I knew the total of it. But yeah, take a break and then go back at it again and see if your body will pick right back up again. and decreasing. Very good. Very, very good. Yep. I appreciate the science of 2025. I really do. You know that even like 15 years ago, not that long ago, we did not have the information we have now. And it is disheartening that the medical community has not shifted their discussion. Some maybe, for sure, right? But it's way too small of a percent for me to be happy about it when we have fatty liver in our kids. Like, this is not okay. We've got to stop. And this is, we'll probably see, I'm hoping that we will see some big changes, in our healthcare and, and stop it from being sick care all the time, because our children are at stake. I know that I was insulin resistant even as a child, way, way, way back then, because by the time I hit 22 and I got pregnant, I was gestational diabetic. My second baby, I was hypoglycemic. I was already insulin resistant. And then, you know what I'm saying? Like, we have to do better. We have to do better. You lost your measurement notes. I understand. But yes, you're an inch in multiple areas. Okay, that's perfect. Just measure again. I didn't measure the first time at all, so I did measure this time, so I can give you guys good results. And I'm only back on it now since January 19th, so not even another month. So that's just whatever. So I'm going to measure this time because you guys have been so good with giving me your measurements and telling me your stuff. I should probably get on the bandwagon. But I'm going to be honest, that was my skepticism when it got launched. I'm like, really? It's going to target hip, belly, really? So nobody was more surprised than me. Isn't that terrible? I shouldn't be that skeptical. But now that we're getting the results, we're happy. Okay, if you need anything, please reach out. Get into my DM. If you just want to know about the fat burner that we were talking about, send me a fire emoji. If you want to know about the trio, send me a trio. Just say trio. Gut reset protocol, whatever it is, combination of anything, and I will send you a cart, and then you can be the next testimony on the list for 2025. And we will have another challenge in the group, Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women, starting the second week of March. So whatever that Monday is, that's what we're going to do. Yep, an inch in multiple areas. Yay, Terry! That's what that can do. I love that so much. I just love it. Your whole testimony, Terry, just makes my heart so incredibly happy, because I know that for me, I would definitely be the person, and that's kind of goes back to the pixie stick. I am the person that was thinking in my head, maybe I can lose weight. Oh, so SOS Harry Company, that's actually going to go away on the lives. Anything you put, you have to get into my DMs. You have to put trio in my message. Do you know how to do that? You have to find my profile right here on Instagram and go into my messages and say trio, and then I can get you that information. Unfortunately, it goes away. But I was definitely the person that was like, maybe I've already lost 3 sizes in my 50s. Okay, so I'm happy about that, right? That's a good direction. So I went from a 2X down to a large. This is good. Okay, fine. But there's no way that I thought that my hips, the narrowing of my hips, like right here on my sides, I just thought that with my age, that's the way that was going to be. Like, I wasn't sitting and pondering it. I just had the belief system kind of stuck in my head. Well, I am going to be 60. Like, what do I expect? But that's where it narrowed quite a bit for me. And I'm like, okay, this is super interesting. So that's why I was just super skeptical, didn't understand the science behind it. Not that you have to, certainly didn't understand the science behind it. And so now just appreciating the results. And so like with you, Terry, like even your whole story, and my point just being that because I'm the type of person that might think, oops, I have to do a puzzle on TikTok, sorry. So because I'm the type of person that might think or might default to, well, I am kind of getting older. And so things, okay, Sarah. listening to people like you that are 62, losing 40 pounds last year, now losing multiple inches on top of that. Like, this should give everybody hope that our bodies, they are created to heal. They are created to turn back. They are created to regenerate. Like, our cells have, cell renewal and regeneration while we sleep. Like, God made our bodies really freaking amazing. And we have to stop thinking in terms of the limiting beliefs that we're being given by the providers that say that type 2 is a lifelong and non-reversible thought process. We have to reject that kind of negativity. I'm just not going to put up with that. No, my body was made to function at a higher level. And if I can help it to do that, then that's what I'm going to do. And I want to find another level and another level. And my goal right now, my husband and I are getting in the gym, and I'm really working kind of muscles, especially around my shoulders and blah, 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 and my legs. And anyway, because I want muscle in my 60s. That's my goal now. So I have every intention of doing this. I did this in my 50s. Why can't I do this in my 60s? Why? Why do I have to do this? My dad followed the matrix and he went like this in his 50s and then it was dead at 63. I'm not interested in that. I'm going to go like this. I want more muscle. I want more stability. I want higher function. I want energy. I want to feel good. I want to change sizes again. I want many different things that make me go like this. And because God made my body to run like a Porsche, I actually have the makings of something that can do spectacular things. I just have to go and execute. I have to actually wake up and take my supplements. I have to actually wake up and do the things. I have to actually go to the gym and give myself resistance. I have to actually choose what I'm putting in my fridge and in my pantry. But that's just me partnering with God. Does that make sense? I'm just partnering. I'm just going to choose not to be a parked car because he cannot steer a parked car. And that's the same thing for our health and for our energy and for our hormone balance and for everything that we're doing. And we can do this. So that's why Terry gets me very excited about that, because, if you're, do you want to be 62 and losing 40 pounds this year? Is that what you want? Probably. Well, that's the blueprint of transformation that I talk about every day. Another customer, I don't think she's on now. She'll probably show up on the replay. She's 74. Did you think you were too old today? Did you wake up today and think you were too old to make a difference in your weight and in your meds and all that stuff? 74. She'll be 75 March 1st. She started this system that I have kind of put together for, everything targeting insulin resistance. Started August 28th. She's lost 45 pounds. She's 74. Did you think it was too late? Did you think you're too old? Right? We all have to battle this. And we all have to sometimes make a change as to who we're listening to. And if you don't like your provider, if you feel like you're being belittled or you're not listened to, just change. You live in America. You can choose. You have choice. Sometimes things are out of pocket. Okay, right? It's reality. I'm going to just be honest with you. If you're going to go to a naturopath, do you think that's going to be covered by insurance? No, it's not. But that's why I always talk about, I know my role. My role is I'm between the person that's standing at GNC that doesn't know anything about you and your situation, and a naturopath that you might have to dish out thousands of dollars with. And some of you need to do that. So I'm not putting it down at all. Worked with one, love it. Changed my mindset about how to have my body function. But I'm just saying, if you don't want to have, if that's not where you need to go, if that's not where you need to be right now, like having massive amounts of tests done because really, there's something going on in your body you're just not sure about and you got to figure it out. But if that's not you, because that was not me, I did not have major things going on in my body that I needed to have massive panels and testing and all sorts of stuff done. So I did not have to go to a naturopath and spend thousands of dollars out of pocket. Okay. So I'm in the middle. So this is where I am. I'm in the middle. If you need a middle of the road answer, then maybe you need to reach out to me and ask me how I view this blueprint of transformation. And I can tell you exactly what I do. No gatekeeping. I'll tell you exactly how I target my supplementation, how I have changed my food as an Italian girl, and how you can put the two together also and get the results that they're getting. You know, potentially, right? And nothing is ever guaranteed, ever, right? Because everybody has different situations. So we have to respect that knowledge. Everybody's got different levels of, scripts that they're taking, or over the counter, or trauma. Yesterday, we talked about, go back, watch the replay for yesterday about, I did a mindset training, super fascinating, very helpful for this world that we're in right here, this little circle of friends where we're talking about this and how to maybe overcome some of your default settings in your subconscious that were set when you were little. Okay, so it's a multifaceted conversation, but it's not rocket science. And aren't you glad? Aren't you glad that this is only a couple steps? Okay, length of time to be determined, but just a couple steps. So, all right, you guys have the most blessed day ever on the face of the planet. And I'll see you again tomorrow at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. Get in the group Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. If you want to be a part of the next challenge, you have plenty of time to get all of your targeted supplementation, whatever that means for you, and be ready for the next challenge that will start the second week of March. Okay, and it's our 22nd one, because it's a track for you to run on every single month that you plug in and hang out and grab a nugget and grab something. That is an opportunity. You're welcome, Patty. It's an opportunity for you to move forward, move forward, move forward, move forward, just an inch, 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 inch. And then you get results. So, all right. See you later, alligator. Have such a great day, you guys.